All right, December 16th, 2023. I should be Christmas shopping, but I'm going fishing because, yeah. I'm going to go out Grayson. Last time I was at Grayson, I absolutely got my teeth kicked in, but that's just the way it goes at Grayson this time of year. So I am going after him today, hoping to catch some mega bass. I'm going to be throwing a jerk bait as well as a crankbait and some Picasso jigs, potentially a little spotty, and maybe even a triple threat jig from Blue Rock. So let's get some fuel. Let's go to Grayson. 42 degrees right now. Wintertime. Got the old Picasso Reaper AFCO hoodie here. This thing is phenomenal. So, you know it is. We're here at Speedway getting some fuel. Let's go after them. Let's do it. Preliminarily, sorry my camera's a little crooked, but preliminarily, water temperature right now 47.8 degrees here, Grayson Lake, December 16th. This place can either be feast or famine. If you've ever fished here before, you know what I'm talking about. This thing could be either just an absolute hammer hole, or it could be just we come out here and we don't catch any fish, which has happened to me many times. But with that being said, a couple of baits that you should be throwing this time of year, I'm going to be throwing. One of those is a flat side crankbait. If you guys have been following along with the channel for the last, I don't know, week or month or so, I guess, you guys have seen that I've talked about flat-sided crankbaits a lot. When the water temperature dips below probably 65, I like fishing flat sides all year long, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when I'm out here trying to catch the fish, and again, it's not quite winter time yet. It's close, almost Christmas time. This part of the lake when I was here last week was severely dark. It was in the process of turning over. It looks like it's still kind of dingy looking, but I'm also, on top of throwing that flat-sided crankbait, which I'm going to be throwing the Shimano Macbeth flat today, I will also be throwing it's a Little John Type R 50, or Little John 50 Type R, which is a rattling version of it. And my favorite bait this time of year is going to be the jerk bait. And I'm going to throw some jerk baits today to try to catch a fish. With the water temperature 47 degrees, one of the things that you have to keep into consideration is that the bait fish that you're trying to mimic are not going to have a really erratic action. It's not going to. Water temperature 40, I mean, it's cooling off still. It's 47.1 now. So I don't think that's me going farther back in this creek. It may be, but I think it's just where my transducer's getting acclimated to the water temperature. But right now it's setting at 47 degrees. So I'm going to be throwing a jerk bait. I'm going to start off with a jerk bait. There's a little cove back in here that I really like. That's always holds fish, it seems like. I'm going to try to catch them moving today, and if I can't, I'm going to drag out some jigs, which I hope I don't have to. I've only got about 5 hours fishing time, guys. Right now it is 15 minutes till noon. It gets dark about 5:30 around here anymore, thanks to daylight savings time, which it's great. You get to see the sun go down on your lunch break. But with that being said, we're going to go out here. I'm going to try to catch a fish on a jerk bait, flat-sided crankbait, and if I can't get them moving, then I'm going to switch up to a jig. I may even throw a high-tech swim bait today. So, wish me luck. Probably going to need it. All right, 3 baits I'm starting with right now. Spro Little John 50 Type R. That's in Rayburn Red. I have that tied on an 866C CBR Deep Flex IMX Pro with a Shimano Corrado 70. That's going to be bait number 1. That's actually going to be bait number 2, because that's not what I'm going to start with. I'm actually going to start with this bait right here. This is a Shimano World Minnow 115 in Ghost AU. Have that on a 1611 medium plus poison adrena with a Chronarch MGL. And the last bait I'm going to throw today for a while is going to be this Fritz Side 5 Biggin This is on a medium, what do I have this tied on? This is a medium glass poison, or I'm sorry, the X-Pride B glass. So, see if we can't catch one. What do you say? Dink, man, but I'll take it. I mean, a freaking baby. Ate that little Picasso little spotty. Look how pretty that fish is. So pretty. About to get bigger than that though. Hardest thing for me to do this time of year is slow down, even with this jerk bait. I have this thing on a 6:2 to 1 gear ratio reel. But I'm trying to cover as little as ground as possible with this jerk bait, and it's super tough right now for me to do that. These rocks and stuff down through here usually hold some fish, and I've caught some decent fish on here. I want to throw this jerk bait down through these rocks here, and the biggest thing about a jerk bait, you know, fishing a jerk bait this time of year, you want to make as far as the cast as you can. And again, this thing casts pretty decent. This is a Shimano World Minnow 115. But I'm gonna reel it down and get it down into the strike zone. Then I'm gonna make a couple jerks with my rod. This type of jerk bait suspends in the water column. So when I make it move and twitch, when I stop the motion, that jerk bait is gonna stay right there in the water column, no matter where it's at. This jerk bait right here only dives to 5 feet. On fluorocarbon, it probably dives a little bit deeper than that. But my whole goal here for this thing to date, oh man, I felt like I just got bit, but I think I hit the bottom. My goal here is to get a reaction strike. 47.7 degree water temperature back in the back of this creek. And when I'm moving that minnow or this jerk bait, I want it to be erratic and then I want it to stop. But the problem is, in the wintertime like this, it's really tough for me to slow down, because we've talked about it on the show before. The past couple weeks, is that these fish are not going to be super active, especially the bait fish. So you're going to want to mimic that action. They're just going to be moving really slow in this 40+ water temperature. So I'm just kind of having to really slow down. And Mark Zona, on a show that he did several years ago, 10+ years ago, he was fishing a pond that was like a holding water pond for a electric power plant or something, and it was I got snagged there. There's a point that comes out here, but he was talking about fishing a jerk bait in the wintertime, and he made one of the most classic things I think I've ever heard of, and that he said, you're fishing a jerk bait in the wintertime, jerk, check your email. That's how slow you should be fishing this thing in the wintertime. throwing this jerk bait all day. Haven't had a sniff, so we'll switch up to a little darker version of the World Minnow. The same one, except it's black and silver instead of green and silver. Let's see if this has any effect on them. And then I might throw on the old Rapala, the Shadow Wrap Deep, maybe. Had some decent luck on that jerk bait. But that one jerk bait I was throwing there was not getting bit. I've thrown it for the last 2 hours here in this creek and haven't had any luck on it, so there's no sense of beating a dead horse here. A couple of things we need to figure out is, one, will they bite a jerk bait? And two, was that just the wrong collar? Again, so this is Shimano World Minnow 115. It has the flash boost technology in it, which I really like. You guys see that little piece of, it's a piece of what looks to be like, it's just a piece of like foil in there, and there's 2 springs on both ends. So when you stop the jerk bait in the water, that thing just sits there and quivers, which is absolutely pretty cool. There's kind of scratched up on this side, maybe you can see it better here, but it's actually really daggone cool. It's called Flash Boost. This is a World Minnow 115. Switched up collars. The other one was Ghost AU. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's just a black and silver jerk bait. So is it the collar or is it the bait? Let's find out. Fish is a good one. Decent fish. Stay down. Just got him by one hook. It's close to a keeper, but not a giant. Got him on the old Fritz side 5 in KY blue. This is a Fritz size 5 biggin. Not a bad fish. I'll take it. Water temperature back in here is 2.5 degrees colder than it is out on the main lake, and that's got that fish a second ago on this crankbait. But I pulled up in this creek thinking that I might find some bait fish. I really haven't seen any bait fish, but that's why I'm throwing this Fritz side here. It's kind of mimicking a shad. Starting to come across some bait fish now out here, a little bit deeper, about 13 foot of water. But that fish I just caught back there was on some rocks, but it was right on the bank, what I feel like. I'll have to look at the footage when I get back home, but I hadn't caught many fish today, so kind of caught me off guard, but I think it was really close to the bank, which is weird for this time of year. I'm hoping to find some bait fish. I'll see some crappie or something right underneath the boat right now. There's a log that comes out through here. But caught 2 fish today anyway. I wanted to try to catch them on a jerk bait, and that hasn't happened yet. Right now it's about 3 o'clock, which means it'll get dark here in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I think I'm just going to stick to my guns and fish up this creek. This is a Bruin Creek in Grayson Lake. Usually a pretty good fish, or pretty good place to catch some fish, but we'll throw this crankbait around for a while, and then if I get back up in here, it gets a little more shallow, I might pick up that little spotty jig and pitch it around. They don't seem to be eating this moving bait too awful well. Water's fairly clear for this time of year. Again, this water is turned over already, so all the sediment stuff is settling to the bottom. There's not a whole lot of pleasure boat traffic out here. Matter of fact, there's probably zero. Every boat out here today, there's about 5 or 6 boats I've seen have been fishing. I don't think there's going to be too many people swimming in 45-degree water temperature anyway. But I'm just going to keep my head down and chunk these baits around and see what happens. You know, we got a couple fish today. That's better than sitting on the sitting on the couch. December 16th anyway. Beat the heck out of being at work. Alright, I said I was going to go up this creek and stick with my guns, but I can't do that. Water temperature keeps getting colder and colder and colder back here. 44.4 right now. It was 46, 47 out there on the main lake, 48 even. And I don't feel like these fish are going to be moving way up in these creeks, especially if the water's colder. They're going to be moving back out of these creeks towards the main lake. So I'm going to fish this jig around this tree right here. And I'm going to pick up that crankbait that I got that fish on, and I'm going to work my way out of here. I'm going to fish this other bank back through there. I wanted to go back in here. Water gets a little more skinny, a little more shallow back in there, but I definitely don't like the water temperature getting cold. It's decisions like that that, you know, keeps you on the water and keeps you guessing for one thing. Because who knows, they may be stacked up in there, but I just don't feel like they're going to be shaded up in there. The water temperature is going to be getting colder as the evening progresses. So that's what my gut's telling me, so that's what we're going to do. Well, folks, 4 o'clock in the p.m. Looks like there looks to be a little bit of a storm rolling in here. We didn't smash them today. Caught a few. Found a kayak over here, and that's been sunk. So if you are looking for a kayak in Bruin Creek, here it is. Well, that being said, it's not been an amazing day fishing, but it's been an amazing day fishing, if you know what I mean. We didn't kill them, but we caught a few fish, or not a few, we caught 2. Better than I would have done at my house, so can't complain there. I'm gonna fish for the next 10 minutes or so, and if I catch a fish, I'll let you see it. And if I don't, oh man, that felt great. And if I don't catch a fish, you won't see it. So without further ado, you guys know what the deal is. If you guys can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on another line.